Hello everyone and happy Tuesday. Sorry for the delayed start here to today's critique, but here we are and away we go. Okay, so we've got a few videos to go through here, also some stills, so we're going to start with the videos and then work our way over. So first off, let's take a look at the reference here from Alfredo. So we've got, this is an animation that was done by his friend. We've got lots of high contrast, not a lot of information in the shadows, and then let's start with that as our basis and go from there. So looking at the character in the light, I do think that we can go darker on this character. I think there's a lot of fill on the backside of this one. So I think that we can darken that, create it just like a simple rim and really focus in on the character here. So some of the elements about your reference that I really like are a couple things. One, the tones are a little bit on the warmer side. It implies like heat. It implies that there's a lot of stress in them and there's like blood pumping through their veins a little bit. The other thing that I really like is kind of the suggested environment around them, just like little bits of light and little bits of value back there. And one of the things with this is that we're not really getting a sense of the environment. It would be great to get like little hits of light and little specks and maybe just like subtle indications of the surroundings. And then additionally, to get that warmth in the skin tone here, because the skin is looking a little bit cool. We're looking at this, you can really feel, again, there's a lot of sweat, there's a lot of specularity, there's a lot of heat being generated here, and same thing with this one. It would be great to get that as well. Additionally, there's a lot of subsurface scattering going on. In here, we can kind of see it along the nose, the way that the nostril doesn't go into complete darkness around the edge of the chin and things like that. We're getting some hard lines in some of these shadows, like especially across the nose. It would be great if there was like a little bit of subsurface that was breaking its way through there. Those are kind of my my big notes. After that, we've got a kind of like an emotional delivery by this character, and I want a little more detail in the eyes, especially in the shader there. The other thing to watch out for, and this is a classic problem between lighters and animators, if you look, the character kind of, like for the first, I would say like 20 frames here or so, is pretty static. And I don't get the sense that she's moving, and then all of a sudden she kind of starts up, So I would consider putting her in a little bit more darkness back there. Just not for looks, but just for the logistics of the scene itself. All right, next up we have Ashley. So this is looking a lot better. I think the only thing that I would do, the only adjustments I would make from here is as the little girl enters the space, this side of her face just looks a little bit on the yellow side. I would shift that a little bit, add some more red values in there. And then for him on his fill side, I wonder if we shouldn't push a little more color into these shadows, specifically in that pose. Like he's fine here, and then like all of a sudden when he shifts around over here, I just want to see a little bit in here, because like this shape against his eye is feeling a little bit jarring. So just, and it's fine to keep that eye value the way it is if we just like up the fill value just a touch. For the exterior one, I think this is looking good. Just sit back and take a look at it one more time. That shadow on the left is working really well. The softness is working really well. Yeah, I'd say let's leave this one for now and really focus on the interior one. Yeah, because I think that's looking good. Clarissa. So the only thing I was thinking was, like, I don't know how much control you have over the wind velocity. I would tone that down a little bit. I know that's definitely not a lighting note. And the reason why is the disconnection between the amount of wind that's making the trees blow like this and the fact that we're not seeing leaves whip around is a little, like, it's just like there's a lot in one place and not a lot in another place. So I would just kind of tone that down a little bit. This looks great. The lack of the taking down the roughness on the material definitely helped out quite a bit. Getting good connection between the sky and the ground. If there's any way, do you see how like there's dark shadows here on this bridge? I don't know about Unreal. If you can inch that atmospherics a little bit closer so it starts in there, that would be really helpful. But yeah, these shapes look really good. I would tone down the reflection over here if we could, just because just in that like it looks really good here, like something along that level, just because it's a little distracting in that last shot. You know, like as we kind of come across, kind of just want to keep looking over here, and then all of a sudden like this enters the screen, kind of back behind here, and then that's just like a little saturated in there. But overall, this looks really great. I can't believe you're turning these around that quickly. One thing I just noticed when I was kind of scrubbing through this, it doesn't appear there's a lot of shadowing from the leaves onto these trees, on those branches in there. I don't know if that's a thing or if that's just like an optical illusion, but just something to be aware of there. And also, it looks like, I guess, okay. I'm just looking at this one branch here. It looks like it does a little dance, like going, bah, 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 bah. That's all right. Yeah, but I love the translucency on the leaves. Like you really feel the warmth and the situation that you're in. And as far as a real-time render engine, this looks really great. All right, Holly, lots more detail, really good stuff in the windows. I think this looks good. I would call this guy done. I think this is a nice. I think this was a really good project for you. So, yeah. Sorry to make you wait there, just to say I think you're good, but I think this is good. I think this has accomplished all the things that we were looking to accomplish with this shot. So, I would say pencils down and time to move on. Good job with this one. All right, let's hop over into some stills. Start off at the top here. We'll go with Adrian. So in these two iterations, I just kind of revealed myself there. I kind of like this version a little better because there is, like, you can see some good warmth in here, but it fades off to more neutral tone. This one gets a little bit dusty, a little bit dirty in the warms, but I like this one a lot better. The one big note that I have, I think the eyes look great. I think you did a really nice job with those. The one note that I have is the hair. I still think that the darks in the hair can go a little bit darker. This is just kind of my mock-up of bringing up the black point on the hair. And you can see it just creates a little bit of a denser shadow in there, and then keep pushing, trying to get some specular highlights on the rims there would be really, really beneficial. But I think this is looking really, really great. All right, Amit, like the specularity, just watch out for that one right there. That looks like it's a little bit of a mound there, but I think the rest of the specular highlights are looking really good. Yeah, I would be very happy with that one. Donika, I know you're hitting a couple things back over here. No problem there. I like the color scheme a lot. Yeah, and same thing with this character, just making sure that they fall back into space a little bit more with a little more darkness. Not quite sure what that shape is. I would look into that. And I know this is getting hit with a lot of cool light, but I wonder, just looking at the sushi again, just because this falls under that food being not warm thing, I'm just wondering if we couldn't just fake a little bit more warmth onto this, if this would still look natural. Yeah, I think a little bit more warmth into the roll, the fish there on top would be good. And then I would do take a look at do a pass on your cucumber and a few of these things on top of the sushi rolls. Like this is kind of clipping out, and it's feeling. It would just be a matter of pulling some of the blue out, and it's just not feeling 100%. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like wet the way that a cucumber would. It does, like, there's no specular, but there's a lot of pass through. So just take a look at that, maybe find some reference and try and get that cucumbery look. And then lastly, if you do have ambient occlusion under here, and especially down in here, it's a little dense. It's heavy. I would just lighten that up a little bit because, like, the shadow values on the character are much lighter than what we're seeing down there, and it's a little bit of a disseparation. All right, next update here. This is a fun sushi party. So I thought this was good because this came in at the same times as Jeff's, and it's good to take a look at these together because they're pretty similar in their setup. So one of the things that's working really well for Jeff's is that you get a sense that the water surface is reflecting the sky. Similar color palettes, similar looks. With this one, they're very, very different. So you want, because like think of the ocean or a body of water as just like a mirrored reflection of whatever's above it. So you're going to want to see those reflections. Like where here, I'm not seeing the reflection of the boat, I don't think, and then I'm not seeing this sky and this are two different reflections. So I would work on that. And then additionally, like the way that like this is a little bit more toned down and kind of falling in the background, where this is now feeling a little orange, and Poppy is really drawing our attention here. And like that's really circling us in here, where we're here, it's like all of these characters have a similar have kind of a similar brightness, especially these things all have like, are just like, they feel very, very straight and vertical lines going throughout the shot. So the way, and then also like these things are cool, but they're not driving the light. Like I'm not even seeing the lighting on them hitting here. Like the way that this is bright, I'm not really seeing that hit here. The way that these really feel like they're kind of hitting these objects, I think would really do you good. And then watch out for the light up here getting too kind of cool. Like it looks like you got a lot of yellow light in there, so let's just get some warmth into the scene as well. Right, moving on to Jeff. I think this is looking good. I just want to like, because again, I feel like there's an interior light source. It'd be kind of cool if there's like a softening of this edge a little bit that made it feel like there was light glowing out of it, like the edge of a lantern or something, where you kind of feels like there's light pushing out of the edge, where it's not just like a hard edge thing. This rice is getting a touch bright, and this row feels a little pink. I would push it a little more orange, but really other than that, I think it's good. I think you're in a good spot. Yeah, I'd say that's just about it. Then we'll go on from there. Nice work, Jeff. Jordan, it looks like you got the normals working on the face. That's great. This line here is a little bit harsh. If we could just pull that back a little bit and kind of soften that edge. That is one, and then number two, all I have would be trying to get some more shaping on the cake. Just like a little bit of more of a rim and then a fall off going this way. Other than that, like this is looking really good. It's looking pretty, really, really nice. Oh, if you could darken a little bit back there, like this area between the pot and the chair, and just like create a little more darkness as we go down. Pearl, I love the environment feels great. I wouldn't touch the environment. The character, it's funny. It feels a little clay, and I'm wondering if we should tighten the specular highlight. No, we don't do that. Yeah, tighten the specular highlight to make it feel a little bit more wet. The one thing is, like, we've got all this light coming in back here. It would be nice if that was tied into the character with a little bit of a rim. It doesn't have to be this saturated. It could be just like a neutral color, but something like that back there. The shaping is looking good. It's just a matter of getting a little more contrast and getting some more dark points in the character and a little tighter specularity. But everything else is really coming together nicely. And this one, I love the defocused foreground here. That's kind of nice. Maybe slide them out just a little bit. They're pinching in a little bit narrowly. And then I would go ahead and warm up the key light a little bit more. Just because we have, like, there's so much warmth in our character, in our flowers and everything, that you don't need to go this cool in the background. In fact, it's actually looking a little bit disjointed. In that, like, we've got all this nice glowy warmth here, that adding a little bit of warmth in that background and making that more neutral than cool, I think will help out a lot. And it'll also add a little, like, I think we could even go a little bit warmer on these on the key side. If you could sneak in a little key onto her arm here, because that's looking a little grayed out, that would be really beneficial too. But yeah, just pushing those foreground flowers out a little bit to give a little more breathing room and getting more warmth in the key light, especially on that far back wall, and a little bit more on the character herself, I think would be really good. Rebecca, this looks good. I would try and give this a full res render, and we will take a look here, because I'm wondering if some of this stuff might be because it's a little low res, but I'm wondering, like, he's got such a nice soft skin tone in here. I'm wondering if that might be a little bit sharp once we go full res, but I think, you know what, for this iteration, I think that might not be a problem, but I would just like to see this with a little less noise and a little more full res, just so you can like get the satisfaction of having that nice clean final image. All right, we've got a reference with Dame Judi Dench here from, I think this is from Spectre, I'm not sure. Anyway, like, I love this glancing angle. Look at the detail that we're picking up on her skin, especially in the specular highlights. You're getting something similar here, but I think we can push the specularity a little bit stronger, especially in this area here, the way that we can kind of get that stuff. Looking at her hair, it's lovely how we're able to get, it doesn't get super dense in there. It's like you can feel the light kind of scattering around. Again, it's a lighter color and it's a little thinner. But still, it would be nice to try and mimic that a little bit and get a little bit more value in the shadows in there. Looking at his fill side versus hers. In fact, let's just go ahead and do this because I think that fill values is going to be kind of a key here. So his is feeling a little more blue than this. This has got some warmth, actually a little bit of green, but I think you can push a little bit more warmth into this fill side. Yeah, and I would, this is a lot of subsurface on the ear there. I would pull that back a little bit. I would reduce that by about half. And then something inherently difficult about the character is just watch out for the specularity on his jacket. You might want to pull that back a touch. Okay, that is all for today. If you all have any other questions, please let me know. But great job, great progress. Really beautiful stuff today, guys. All right, happy lighting, everybody.